Hello, this is Dave Gimberline with Shotokan and Shotoru Goshinjutsu, or Kata for self-defense. Welcome to today's training session. My theory is that if you're working out at home, a lot of you don't have a lot of space. So today's training session is going to take place in a hallway. This hallway is pretty narrow. It's less than 3 feet, I believe, and a little bit less than, which is like this much less than a meter. And depending on when your house was built, the code was they had to be 3 feet. So this is just right on the edge. And I looked it up, and most of the code for Europe was the same. The modern code is a little bit wider. But anyway, we're going to see that training in a hallway will have some restrictions, and yet we can use it at different times to help us train. Today we're going to go through Heian Sandan and Heian Godan because the beginning's kind of the same and they kind of all go in a straight line after that first part. And then we're going to go through the basics for the 4th Q test with the Shuhari Institute, which again you can download if you want. I'll put the link below. So put your feet together, bow, pick up one foot, go around with your ankle and toes. Switch other way, other foot, other way. Put your feet together around with your knees, other way. Put your feet apart around with your hips. Switch. Now normally I go around with the arms, but if I do that, then I'm going to hit my hands on the wall. So we're going to do one arm at a time. Just stand off to one side and swing one arm around. You can still use your legs. And switch the other way. Move over the other side, do the other arm. Throughout the training today, switch other way. If you're in a hallway, you're going to have to be careful that you don't run your head into the wall or your feet into a door jamb. But spatial awareness is something that's good for you to learn. Anyway, let's see. We did we're gonna squat all the way down this way. Put your hands on the floor, straighten your legs, squat, straighten, squat, straighten, squat, straighten, and squat. Feet out behind you, arch. Push back, touch your chest to the floor. I did make sure I vacuumed the floor before I put my face on it, so I would recommend you do the same. Forward again, this way. Pull your feet in, squatting. Let's try Kividach. Now, on the outside edges of the floor here, I feel like this is too narrow for my Kividach. So luckily, I have a door frame here. Let me stretch out just a little bit wider, and I can stretch down this way. And then back, and then forward, and then back, and then forward, and then back. Reach over one shoulder and switch. Now, if I did not have those doors, I would have the option of trying to stretch this way, but again, you'll have to be very careful. Your butt's going to go back, your head's going to go forward, and you got to see if you fit in there. I'm going backwards again. There's the wall. Forward. I'm going to skip forward and back. Actually, I talked about using the wall. Since it's there, feel free to lean against it. Get a good arch. And forward. And straighten one leg. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Switch. Switch and drop down. Here's another excellent time to use this wall. If you have difficulty normally balancing this way, lean against the wall and relax. Put your elbow out, switch over the other side, lean against the wall, switch, 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 and switch. Actually, I should have told you about squatting too. If you were squatting and you feel really tight in your legs and have trouble with it, lean back against the wall. Get your spine straight and just keep sinking. I think you should squat maybe 5 minutes a day, once or twice a day. And if this is difficult for you at first, your knees hurt, your hips hurt, your muscles are too tight, start with a minute or two. Get a timer and time it. But just get your hips, ankles, knees looser and all the connective tissue around it stronger. So here we go. So we did the squats, we did that. Oh, we have the turning thing. So here's another time when you can use your the wall on either side. As I rotate over, I might end up leaning against the wall here. Switch back over. There's that wall. Over and back. Over and back. Switch. Other foot. All the way over. Stretch the outside of your thigh. Back. Again, practice sitting. Over and back. And over and back. Pull your feet in, again with the squatting. Straighten your legs and stretch down. Roll up. Around with your hips. Switch other way. Side, side. Squeeze one knee up into your chest, and now is an excellent time to use the wall for balance. Switch, leg, pull it in towards the middle. Switch, 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 and switch. Reach around behind to grab an ankle. Switch, switch, and switch. Shake your legs a little bit. Let's stretch your thigh out just a little bit. Got a nice long hallway here. Take a nice deep lunge. Keep your body straight up and down, stretching out your thigh. Step forward. Your quadricep, I guess I should say. Step forward. Reach up. Step forward. Reach up. Forward. If you have a place here, bring your arms out, twist, looking over one shoulder, switch, arms up, out, over. Now here I have carpet, so if you have carpet or a soft floor, this is another drill that is good for you. Go slowly. You're going to stretch out deep. Feel free to use the wall. Drop your knee towards the floor and bring this foot around. There's a self-defense application for this, for grappling, being able to trap somebody's foot, take them down. I believe they call it spiking the leg. Turn, straight uniforms. Whew, okay, I'm going to start with Kata. Here, stretch this across a little bit. Oh no, I'm going to start with punching. We're going to punch in Kibidachi. Now, as I mentioned, this is a little too narrow for me, but it's an excellent way to keep my feet straight. So what I need is more space. So here I'm fortunate enough to have two doors right across from each other. I'm going to pull this one shut. I'm going to pull this one shut. Then I'm going to put my foot against the door, put my foot against the door and sink. So I'm going to get used to being in this position. If I was a little shorter, I would be fine in the regular hallway. If you're a little taller, this is not going to be big enough for you. You're going to have to do it with the door open so your foot goes through. Anyway, this is Kibidachi. Try to keep your knees between your center and your feet. Do not push your knees outside that way. Oftentimes the instruction that is given is to have a slight pressure out. That's because pressure in is dangerous. You can strain the inside of your knee joint. but you want it to be in line, through the middle of your bones. Put your body center forward. Put your left hand out, right hand at your side. Slowly exchange the arms. 1, touching. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Double punch. 1, 2, 3, like a rubber band. 4, pull down to your heel. 5, pull, pull. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hi, up for just a second. You can shake out your legs. We're still warming up. Triple punches. We're going to do 1 head and 2 stomach. Again, pretty standard for Shodan training. Keep it up. Settle down and out into your feet. Left arm out, head up straight, push forward from your center. 1 head, 2 stomach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, hi, rest. We have more sequences that we'll work on later with the triple punches. Let's open these doors back up. Now, we are going to start with Heian Sandan and Heian Godan. And as you may know, they both start with an inside block, one way and the other way. If I'm working in this hallway, I feel like it's just a little too small for me. So if you do this, be very careful. But yet it makes me pay attention to where my arms are. So if I do an inside block this way, this arm's got to be inside. This one comes over here. I'm just this much short. God, if I was just a little bit longer. And then I'll come over here. I'll practice this way. Just a little short. But if I have the door frame here, I can settle, and again, be careful. I don't want you to get your arms on this door or on that door. Come across, inside block, come the other way, inside block. Now, we're going to practice this way a lot for these first few moves and the first sequence in both kata. And you still got the problem with the elbow. You don't want it hitting something. So if there's a doorway, find that. If there's not a doorway, just go slowly till you see how it fits. And sometimes you think, oh, I'm good. And then you go with speed because you get all excited and you go bang, and there's the wall. So careful, that's all I'm saying. What I want you to work on here, and again, I have a little room here where the door is if I just pull my arm across here and then I put it out in my inside block, it sort of lacks dynamics. It's a little bit stiff, and I at one point was taught that that was basically the whole move. And since then, I have changed it, and I was taught differently. I want my elbow to cross my center on both arms, but especially on the blocking arm. So if I pull my arm across here, because I'm going to coil this way, although it's perfectly acceptable to coil this way, depending on what you're doing and what your sensei says. If I pull this elbow across and I keep my spine nice and straight, when I let go, that elbow pops back. That's your body's natural elasticity. Try that a little bit. Then we're going to go to our left. So again, make sure you have room. Bounce, bounce, bounce. You're just going to stay like that. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Your torso is still straight up and down. Your body straight up and down. 1, 2, 3. Okay? At the end, your fist turns all the way over. You're 1 or 2 fist distances from your body. Not more, not much less. Kind of in there. Let's try the other side. Move over here a little bit. Pull it across and let it go. Pull it across and let it go. Try to engage that bounce. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. So it starts with a bounce and it ends when this hand hits your weight on the floor. Bounce, bounce, bounce. It is important that I maintain my structure as I'm doing this bounce, because if I bend this way, I lose the dynamic and my structure is way off. So at the end, you want your spine straight up and down. You want your fist straight up and down, assuming it's a block. And your structure is still good in your back stance. So starting on both techniques, but let's say Heian Shodan for now, since that's the kata we're going to do first. We're going to go that way and then that way. Just watch the walls, but you should be okay. What I want you to avoid, I guess, is big swingy wind-ups. So my knuckles shouldn't hit there, and it shouldn't hit there on the way out either, because your arms are in close to your body when you go both ways. Oh, I forgot. I have to go this way a little bit because there's more to the drill. 3 counts. I want you to concentrate on your drawing arm. You're going to pull down into the floor and squeeze your center and squeeze your butt. So you're going to go 1, squeeze, 2, squeeze, 3, squeeze. And all 3 have the basic same timing. Try it again to the same side. 1, squeeze, 2, squeeze, 3, squeeze. Again, 1, 2, 3. Move over here, we're going to go this way. 1, 2, 3. Back. 1, 2, 3. I should tell you, I have had problems, and I see some of my students have problems, of trying to be too strong too soon. So especially on these inside blocks, they get bound up all over. The feeling is more like you're going from here to here without any effort. You do this little turn at the end, your elbows on the inside. After you're there, then you squeeze. Oh. So don't squeeze too soon. It'll tighten you. Just let it go from here to here and then squeeze. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Good job. This part, as it happens, it's handy, there's a wall there. When you bring your feet together, you're going to switch your arms like this. This should be like an inside block position. From the front, it kind of looks like that. Your elbow is slightly inside from your fist. This is a downward block position. But your fists should be on the same point in space, like there's a wall in front of you. So I do not want you banging your hands on the wall, but I want you to think that way. So your arms are going to go from here to here and from here to here, and they should be on the same plane in both positions. So here's the deal about that. You're still going to squeeze your elbows in and bring them out, and squeeze your elbows in and bring them out. Try to keep your body straight, your head up. I know I'm looking down a little bit. Sorry about that. Squeeze. Squeeze. Now here's a secret that nobody tells you. At the very end of the technique, below your butt cheeks, you're going to squeeze this together. You're going to keep your legs straight, but it's going to match your arms. So this is relaxed. At the end of the technique, your hip squeezes. And release, squeeze. Release, squeeze, release, squeeze. You can go faster, squeeze, squeeze, but only if this can keep up. Squeeze, squeeze. So take your time. Facing this way, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze. I know this seems odd. It's a strange thing to teach. It's not the way our Western brains often work. But this squeeze is closer to a kime than you think. You squeeze from here to here. Most people try to do it with their chest, and it just makes it worse and worse the faster they go. So this stays straight and tall, and that squeezes down to your feet. But not with so much air. It's just a little bit of air. So going sideways, we're going to practice those actions. So you're starting with Heian Sandan. Going to coil across here, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now I'll go the other way. 1, 2, 3. Practice again. I'll face this way this time. I'll face this way this time. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I went the same way both times. Part of my problem is when I teach class, I often perform a kata in mirror image, and then I forget which way is the right way. So I have to watch people to see if they go that way or that way, and then I go that way. So I happen to know you go to your left first. So this is 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now I'll face this way. You go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's the next thing. I did say this, but maybe I didn't say it enough. As I step from here to here, please do not step towards the target this way. Now your stance is messed up, and you can't get it back. It won't work. The sensation is more like I'm going to drop straight down. I'm going to increase the pressure from here to my foot, to my knee, and stick my foot out. This is common for back stances. It's common for the way I teach it. So over the next few days, you'll see more and more back stances. So they say the weight distribution is 70-30, maybe a little more, 80-20 feeling, and yet you drop and you push. Because people that step forward, it's just such a hard habit to break. So I make them stay back a little bit further. Another helpful hint is don't put your heel down. So instead of falling forward here, with all my weight, drop, keep your heel up just a little bit. Boom, boom, drop. Just a little bit. Boom, boom. Going this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's work on the next section. From here, you are going to again drop down in your stance and do an augmented block this way. So I'm standing like this. I'm going to increase the pressure down, augmented block this way. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Not this way. No pressure. Drop down, increase pressure. Okay, that's your stance. So we're here. We'll do it a few times. 1, back, 2, back, 3. Good job. Cover with this hand, spear hand strike. 1. When you step forward, your weight drives throw to the target as if you're punching. It does not go off to one side that way at the end. So in my narrow hallway here, I may need to start out pretty darn close to this wall so that I can go 1, drive forward, 2, spin. They say pretend like somebody grabs your hand. Spin, spin, spin. Kibadatch. 3, step and punch. 4. I'll go this way. I'm like this. Drop down and do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it again. I'll start back here a little bit further. 1, drop. 2, 3, 4. And then you stand up. 5. Oh, elbows in the way. So if I'm practicing this, I either have to make sure there's a doorway there, or I have to make myself over a little bit before I stand up. And in either case, I have to make sure I don't bang my elbows on the wall. Remember I talked about being careful. So we're going to do one more forward. I'm going to try to end up kind of there and see how that goes. So you go 1, 2, 3, I missed it, 4. There's a door here though. 1. Not bad. That fits. So in this position, I want your body to be straight up and down, your knees to be straight. A lot of people do this. Please don't do that right now. This is slightly in front, your head is lifting. I want the tips of your elbows to be slightly in front of your hip. Your knuckles push straight into your belt. You lift your head and push your elbow forward. This is a strong position. This is not as strong. This is more stable on both sides. So it's actually a dance technique. Many years ago, I was a girls' gymnastics coach. I was in charge of 350 little girls, and we taught dance on the beam. And one of the exercises was to put your hands on your hip and lift your spine, and your elbows had to be in front because this was stable from your hip to your collarbone. And if you let your elbows slump, your body slumps. So I thought that was an interesting crossover into karate, even though I see a lot of people, very experienced people, standing up and their arms are just floppy, but I think their body is too. So please do this just to make me happy. One more time, I'm going to go this way. So I was here, and I go 1, 2, 3, careful with the arms, 4, 1, my elbows are out. Now I have to step forward with these things. So we're going to do this. You're going to go 1, up, down, over. 2, up, down, over. 3, up, down, over. 4, and 5. So I want to talk about these leg lift things. I was taught that these are stomps, and they could be. They could also be striking with your knee, could also be striking with your shin, could also be striking with the bottom of your foot, could be hitting with your heel, could be a throw where you're just leveraging your leg over before you chop the guy's leg out, could be many things. But no matter what it is, you have to teach your body to be stable while you're doing it. So I'm going to do 2 things. One is I'm going to pick my leg up past my center and hold it and then let it drop down. So this is not the right arms, but I'm going to teach my legs. I'm going to go 1, hold, 2, keep it arch. 1, hold, pick it up, 2, drop. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to go that way. 1, up, 2, 1, up, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so you see the up down thing? What you want to do with that, 2 things. The first one is to develop some stability and a base to move from. So now I'm going to do it without holding my legs, but it's still going to be 2 counts. You're going to go 1, squeeze, 2, drive. And I can skip the rest for right now. 1, squeeze, 2, drive. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Gotta keep my torso straight. Here's the second drill. I am going to pick my leg up, and just the dynamic of picking it up is going to move it past center and it's going to drop back down. So some people talk about picking your knee up to your elbow, your knee up to the corner of the roof, your foot up to either place, but I'm going to go past center and it's going to bounce off my center. So it's going to go 1, up, down, 2, up, down, 3, up, down, 4, up, down, 5. This way. 1, up, down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the reality of the technique is it's both things. You have the compression, you have the control, you have the base, and you have the dynamic of it lifting. This shows up in other places in Kata, in Konkudai, in Heian Godan, lots of places. So I'll try to mention it when we get there. What I do want you to avoid for now, though, is any idea that it's a circle. Don't pick your leg up and try to swing it and come down. It tends to throw everybody's balance off. So I'm totally not saying that you can't do that eventually. Just right now, when you're working on a basic concept, the idea is more that it's straight this way, up, down, straight this way, up, down, straight this way. If I wanted it to be a knee strike, a shin strike, I could adapt that once I have my base. It won't matter much. Here's the next part. Again, look out for the walls and doors, but I'm demonstrating sideways so that you can see what I want you to do. Your elbow is going to come across your center, into your thigh, and into your foot this way, and then from your foot to your thigh, to your center, and out for the back fist. Squeeze, go. Squeeze, go. Squeeze, go. From this way, looks like this. Squeeze, go. Squeeze. Generally, this comes up over the top and back. Squeeze, go. Try other foot. I'll try to fit in here. Squeeze across, off your foot, out. 2, boom, boom. Got to move a little bit. Squeeze, go. Squeeze, go. Shoulder down. Squeeze, go. So your center and your legs control everything. Now you put it all together. From here, pick your knee up. 1, up, down, snap. 2, up, down, snap. 3, up, down, snap. 4, up, down, snap. 5, snap. All right, the turn is your last move in the kata, and I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make that fit this way because it takes up much more room. I can do it this way, but then I have a problem with the step and punch part. So I do have my doors here, like I was talking. Let's see. So I was here, and I did a step and punch. Leave room, you're going to need it. In and out with your footwork. In and out. Spin this way. Elbow and punch. That's not what it is, but that's the motion. And then shift backwards, elbow and punch. For both of those, again, look out for the door frames, look out for the walls. I don't want you to hit your fist or elbow. So, that seemed to work out okay. We'll do it again here. I got this out here. I do my step and punch. In and out with my footwork. Spin, spin. Try it the other way. Out here. Step and punch. 1. In and out with my footwork. 2. Spin. 3. Spin. There we go. That's all the moves in the kata. So, tough to do in a hallway, but I'm going to try. Except for the very last move where I'm going to have to adapt to going sideways. But let's see. Won't quite fit that way. Door frame. Better. All right, I'll try it here. Hands, Sandan. Away. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hop backwards here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. This way. 1, 2. 1, 2. Up, down. Turn. 1, 2. 1. Step and punch. 1. Boy, I have to make this fit this way now. The next motion after the step and oops. So I already did this and I did the step and punch. Then I have to do the in and out with my footwork. 1, 2, spin. 3, 4. There we go. I'm going to try it again. I guess I will start down here though, so I can make it fit here. Out. And Sandan. Do it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. 1. Up, down. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now I have to go in and out with my footwork. It's going to go this way. In, out, turn, turn. There. My wrist. So I think on our next video, I'm going to be on the big floor and we'll do all of the kata, all the 5 hands anyway, and maybe teki, where you can see the entire pattern, and that'll be a little easier to follow. It is also my goal to do these classes without any cuts. One reason is that it's very awkward with my system to cut bits out of the video, splice it back together, try to make some continuity. It takes forever. And turns out in real life, you don't get to cut and start over. I just have to tell you, oh, we're going to go back, we're going to do it again. Which I did a couple times here as I got lost in the kata. But, you know, for doing a kata in a hallway, I'm doing a pretty good job. Heian Godan has some of the same issues. I kind of feel like if my hallway was this much wider, I could start here and I could go 1, 2, and everything would be great. But it's just too short. So I'm going to have to figure out how to fit in a doorway 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's not bad. So if you're lucky enough to have 2 doors that are close together, you'll be fine. Same beginning as before in Heian Shodan, where I want this crossover. You're going to cross and block, and then you got to keep this knee pressure out. You're going to twist and punch. So let's practice that side a couple times. It's going to be dynamic. You got this stretch here, whoom, and then this, whoom. And they should start to blend together like a rubber band. 1, 2. Body straight, shoulders down. 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2. Let's practice the other side. My elbow's going to hit. All right, we'll try it here. 1, 2. This one starts this way. 1, 2. That's not bad. Bounce, bounce. 1, stretch apart. 2, drop. Just a little worried about the walls. 1, 2, 3. The standing up part. A good visual is that I am here. Somebody is attacking me here. They're stepping and punching. I'm going to move out of the way. So they're coming in there. I was here. They're coming past me. And while I do that, this hand is going to intercept and pull them in. So I do not think that's what this technique is. And yet the arm motion follows really well. This is a running water position, they say in the books. If you put a drip here, it's supposed to follow all the way down your hand and drip off the side. I know a couple things about this that are helpful. I know almost everybody does this too big, including me, in this kata and in teki. Make sure that it stays in here where it belongs. Your shoulder, though, is interesting. If I pull my shoulder back the way I kind of have it for punching, the neutral, it's relatively strong here, but for going sideways, it's not a good position. What is better is to push my elbow out as far as it'll go. This squeezes sideways, better. That's a stronger position. No, yes. Elbow out, shoulder out, but still down. It's true on both sides. Out away from you, which is part of the reason my hand keeps getting out. It should be in. Try a couple times. So you're going to go 1, 2. Here comes the technique. Block it with this edge. Move out of the way. 2. Try the other side. 1, 2. Block it. Here it comes. 2. Should be smooth like that. I have a difficulty with lower belts. It always looks a little awkward. So if you can truly visualize the part that I just said, where somebody is stepping in, driving in with an attack, you're going to catch it and pull. That helped me for body timing. Oh, there it is coming at you. Catch it and pull. So, but it's smooth motion as you go. So the whole first sequence will probably work better this way. Just have to make sure I have elbow room. I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bring in. 1, 2, oh, too close to the wall. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, too close to the wall. I was happy where I was. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Same deal. You stay here, stick your foot out, do that block. So on the other kata, it was on the other side. The concept's the same. What I want you to feel like is as you step out, you increase the pressure to your back leg as you go, not shift your weight forward and end up kind of 50-50. Increase this pressure. Augmented block. As we discussed earlier, coil this one up high and then step out. So here I am, minding my own business. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, this way. And I step out this way. 1. Now, I coil this up high as if it was blocking my face. And then your hands come together and you do an X block. This is a deep stance, deeper than normal. Your hips have to be committed forward. And the idea is like you're punching with your towards groin, and both hands are coming down. And I'll tell you, then you're going to pull with your legs back into you and then out. Smoothly, but you can break it down into 1, 2. So, here we are. 1, 2, 3 on this way. You're going to go 1, back stance. 2, big wind up, strike. 3, head. 4, wrap your wrists together this way. So here you should be able to see underneath your hands. Then you twist and pull. But as you start to get down, you increase the pressure in your legs like you're pulling with them this way. Pull, pull, pull. Make a fist with your left and punch. 1, 2. You don't have to wait though. You go right away. So, that series again. Start here. Back stance. 1, front stance. 2, pull back. 3, 4, build, 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 build. 5, 6, fa, fa. Okay? From here, I have to pick my leg up this way and do a downward block. This leg is the same thing that you did here in the last kata. It's just now got this arm doing something different. But your body action from here down is the same, regardless if you're going one or whatever it is you're doing in a different kata. You're still training your base leg and center to be your support. So, let's see. I went here. Maybe I didn't go this way. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coil this way, watch your foot. Up, 1, 2, 3. Crescent kick, elbow strike. 4, 5. So I want to talk about those a little bit. On the leg lift and the downward block, you have a couple choices. You can coil this arm this way and then down. I tried that back when I was first learning it, and I was always unstable and my timing was always bad. So somebody said to me, pick your arm up and drop it down, and that helped. You can do both, and you can switch depending on what you think the movement is for at that moment, but it matters that you have control of your balance. So like the other training that we did, you want to be able to go 1, squeeze, 2, shock, and you want to be able to go up, down, and they just both end up the same. Now, when you go this way, you look to your left, wind your hip up, and then push off your right leg 2 while you're building pressure. Crescent kick, pull this elbow in, 3, 4. The crescent kick's the same deal. You build a base here, drop, boom, you got your control here. So I cannot show that sideways. I don't think. 1, squeeze, 2, shock. And even when you go in 1 count, squeeze, shock, boom, boom. When we go through this kata again, I will break down the crescent kick a little more because there's some kind of interesting stuff about it. But from an application standpoint, and I guess from a body dynamic standpoint, you kind of do the same thing twice in a row. So I'm saying this action, up, down, and this action, up, down. It's very close to the same thing as far as your support leg and hip are concerned. After this, you're going to switch to an inside block, augmented this way, but you're going to cross your foot. 1, 2. Use your legs like a spring. This hand is light. 3, look up. So that does that little thunk thunk. Then you jump, which I think I will not be doing in the hallway. So you go 1, 2, 1, 2. Jump. Your arms go this way. Your legs come up. You land this way, and you drop down. Then you're in a long driving front stance this way. Cover your face and strike and pull back to here. Then you twist on your left heel and right ball of foot as you do a downward block. Stab again. And come up and away this way. So now I have to do that this way somehow. I did the jump, and I drive into my front stance. Look behind you and cover your face with this hand. Like there's a punch coming at you. This is going to cover, and you strike into the groin. Then you pull back. Then you stand up, still looking that way. Twist, still looking that way. Cover with your right hand. Strike, pull. As you may know from other videos that I've done, this spear hand striking for the groin probably just used to be a slap. You used to cover your head and go whap. Somebody could grab hold of you, trap their arms, slap them in the groin. Sweep their foot out if you want. So it was a much smaller action. It got bigger and more exaggerated as the Japanese continued to standardize the kata. But mostly I still do it this way because I like to preserve the base form that I was taught. At some point, you should adapt the kata to what you think it should be. And your form might be a little different, your timing might be different, depending on what you think it is. So I think that's all the moves of Heian Godan and Heian Sandan that I'm going to do for right now. Possibly at the end I'll do another one. So I'm going to take a short break and get some water. Take a break. Okay, I hope everyone got a drink. I have made a decision that what I'm going to do is go through the basics for the 4th Q test very quickly with very little explanation. We'll spend analysis of teaching each dynamic for a different class. This is just to get us through stuff. So, it's slightly different than the JKA basics, and yet it should be recognizable. Out, left arm, left leg forward, get him, but I, triple punch moving forward, 1 head, 2 stomach, 1, 2, 3, moving backwards, rising block, counter punch, 1, twist, 2, 3, moving forward, outside block, elbow strike, back fist strike, 1, this is the front stance, 2, kibarach, 3, back fist, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, moving backwards, inside block, uchiuke, counter punch, 2, 3, moving forward, knife hand block, back stance, 1, front kick, spear and strike, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, moving backwards, 1, block, kick, strike, 2, 3, have to see what's next, double front kick, double roundhouse kicks, side kicks, back thrust. From fighting position, keep your arms up, front snap, front leg, back leg, 1, 2, 3, turn, let's do it again, 1, 2, 3, turn, Washigiri, roundhouse kick, same deal. Be careful here, there's not a lot of room. 1, roundhouse, run. 2, 3, turn. 1, 2, 3. Keep it up. Cross behind, side kick or back kick. 1, 2, 3, turn. 1, 2, 3. Back thrust kick. This is done with a spin. I'm going to do it in 2 counts. On the first count, I want you to pivot on the front ball of foot so your heel goes towards the target this way. This is 1. Your leg is still far away. Thrust. 2. 1. Pivot. 2. 1, 2. And your goal is to do that in 1 count, which I will do later, not in a hallway. There's a combination. Front leg, roundhouse kick, counter punch. Okay. Front snap, Maigiri, Washigiri, Gyakuzuki. Your arms up. Go 1, snap, snap, punch. Recover. 2, snap, snap. 3. Anyway. So that is all of the test basics that are on the test. There are 2 kinds of partner work. The The first is kumite, like with a partner, and this is done from standing. So the defender is standing, the attacker is in a left leg forward kamae. You do 1 step and punch head, 1 step and punch stomach, front kick for stomach, roundhouse kick stomach, and then they have 2 jui pons. They want you to move around, both of you in fighting position, 1 jab for the head and 1 counter punch for the body. Each of those has a defense from, so they're all ippons, they're all just 1 step. The other part of the partner work has to do with kata for self-defense. So as I take people through the kata, I actually teach them applications to each movement. So a rising block is a cover, and then a strike, and then a hit. Boom. So you feel like you're actively doing something. In this particular instance, it could be something simple, like somebody takes a swing at your head, you cover them and you hit them. That's pretty easy. Could be slightly more complicated. They've come up and they grab me with both hands. I'm going to hook their right arm so it can't go anywhere. They can't let go and hit me. I'm going to bring this up across their jaw, this down across their neck. Then I'm going to hit them. And you grab their head, twist it over there, and they fall. This is on my videos. I know that Heian Shodan and Heian Godan are both up on my YouTube channel. So Kata for self-defense, or just look for David Gimberline. It's like Timberline, but it starts with a G, Gimberline. Then you should be able to find it. Please write to me with questions or comments or suggestions. And please continue to train safely. And so far, I love the enthusiasm that I've gotten from people. And people tell me they train along in their kitchens, or they train in their dining room like I did. And now hopefully people will tell me about how they trained in their hallway and it worked out great. So thank you all for training. Class dismissed.